Hello my dear students, today I have come here to deal with the second poem of your syllabus, that is Fire and Ice by Robert Frost, and this is the third poem of Robert Frost that we are going to read. In class 9th we have read The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and before this we have read A Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Also, this is the third poem of Robert Frost that we are going to read, Fire and Ice. Like the other two poems, this is also a very short and beautiful poem, and this poem also has a very deep inner meaning underlying in the poem. This poem expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. So first let's read the poem. Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So, as I have told you earlier, that this poem expresses the idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human desires. What are the desires? Now, one is hatred and another one is favor. One is desire and another one is hatred. Okay. So, these two human desires are here compared as fire and ice. Now, the poet is giving us a message that if we cannot control our emotions and feelings, then emotions are going to control us, and that would be devastating for us. That would destroy everything around us. If we are not able to control our feelings and emotions, especially the two emotions that are mentioned here in this poem, the desire and hate, if we can't control them, then they will control us and they will surely destroy everything around us. Similarly, he thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a catastrophic end. Now, here in this poem, fire and ice are the symbolic representations of human emotions that are desire and hatred. Now, there are two groups who have their own possible explanation for the end of the world. One is of the opinion that the fire alone can destroy each and every possibility of life on earth, while the other thinks that if ice as a result of extreme low temperatures could cover the earth's surface, it would lead to the end of the world. Now, so both fire and ice are capable of destroying the earth, but actually, as I am repeating it, that fire and ice are here the symbolic representations of human feelings and emotions. What are the human emotions? The desire and the hatred, hate. We have to control these things. Otherwise, they are surely capable to bring our downfall. They will surely bring us all on the verge of chaos. This is the inner meaning and deeper meaning of the poem, and the message also that the poet has tried to convey through his poem. Now, if we come to the technical terms of the poem, the rhyme scheme that has been used here is ABA, ABC and BCB. 9 lines. The first 3 lines have the rhyme scheme of ABA, next ABC, and the last 3 lines BCB. Now, if we talk about the literary devices, The first one is assonance. Now what is assonance? It is repetition of vowel sounds in same line. Repetition of vowel sounds in same line is called assonance. The repetition is at different places in different words. As for example, the long sound of O in the line I hold with those who have favor fire. This line, the use of O vowel sound. I hold with those who favor fire. Hold those who favor. Okay. So this is an example of assonance. Next, alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the start of two or more closely placed words. Here we can give the example, the sound of F in favor fire, favor fire. Another one is W in world will, world will. So W in world will and F in favor fire. These are the examples of alliteration. Another major literary device used in the poem is personification. We all know that personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction, so these two things have been personified in the poem. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed the poem. I hope that I have been able to clear your doubts. Okay, so thank you. I hope you have enjoyed